Welcome.
That's what I'm talking about. Love that energy. All right. How's everybody doing tonight? Today we are going to be talking about some crescent gecko diet. Another is another option for you to have besides the normals of Pangea and Rapashi and all them. Mr. Rick Stubbs, why don't you tell us how you got into this reptile journey of yours?
Okay, well, thank you. That's a great question. Well, a few years ago, I was talking to a friend, and a friend actually introduced us to some other people who were in the dubia roach business. And I had never heard of a dubia roach. I didn't know what that was, and so I contacted the folks, and they had a business where they were looking for people to be growers for dubia roaches. And I was fascinated. I was intrigued by it. So I went by, visited with them, and it sparked my interest. I just got involved really slow, um, just with a few bugs, actually, trying to figure out if I not only could do it, if I wanted to do it. And it turned out to be something that I really enjoyed. And I have enjoyed it since. And we've been growing as a business, as a company, serving people now for a couple of years. And so, yeah, it just started with just a friend of a friend, and that's the crazy thing about just meeting new people. You never know what it'll lead to. So
For sure.
Yeah, that's facts right
For
there.
sure.
Yep.
When I
So,
saw the product, actually, I thought it was brilliant. Being that we obviously keep geckos and stuff, and powdered bug proteins are something that's super valuable, but yet something you don't find enough of. Right? Like you can find
right,
certain powders, but not all of the powders that I feel like should be available. Cricket powders are pretty available. Black soldier fly larvae is pretty available, but yet, other than crickets, I mean, the black soldier fly larvae, they're not fed to these animals as much as dubias are, right? You would think that dubias are a pretty popular diet, that it'd be one of the bugs that they went to first, and
right.
surprisingly not. It was great and super refreshing to see, what you're doing over there.
Yeah, well,
yep.
thank you. Yeah, we're very excited about it. I mean, it's been a great journey for us. It's a family business, so it's all my family involved. My son Micah helps me farm the bugs. My daughter-in-law Avon, she runs our social media stuff. My wife's tech support, so thankfully she's helped me tonight. And yeah, it really has been a family affair, but it's been a great journey for us so far, and we're looking forward to the years to come. So it's good.
So how long before you decide, or not decided, like how long of testing did you take before you said, you know what, we're ready to release this product?
Yeah, so we we started the product a couple years ago, and honestly, we knew the demand was there as far as dubia is concerned, for like bearded dragons and things like that. And the whole gecko, the working with geckos was really new. I didn't really understand or realize uh, the geckos as much as I did the bearded dragon side of it.
Okay.
And so we had someone contact us, ask about it, and we just sent them a sample, said, "Hey, give it a try and just let us know what you think." And honestly, it's become a bigger hit with the geckos, as much as it has, if not more, than the bearded dragons. Oftentimes, with the bearded dragons, what we have found is with age, they no longer hunt as much, and
Mm-hmm.
so they turn more to their, I guess, vegetables and salads. And so initially, the idea was that it would be used as kind of like a salad topper for bearded dragons as they age, so they
Okay.
would still get that high quality protein. But again, gecko owners and they have really, I mean, it's really grown in that area big time to
It,
feed them.
there's a
So
big need for it. Like I was saying with the
Yeah.
other powders, it's we feed so many dubias. I mean, across the reptile platform, everybody uses dubias. I mean, they're if not
Right.
everyone's staple, they're close to it. But again, no one ever thought about drying them out and grinding them up. You know,
Right. Right.
when you started this, was what was, maybe I just missed it, but what was the initial, what was your initial objective? Was it to raise live dubias to sell, or did you have this whole powdered thing in your head right from the jump? What was the original plan?
Yeah. No. The original plan was just for live dubia,
Okay, okay.
and then we started really looking at what was available, what's out there, and what I was seeing was a lot of products that, well, frankly, just filled with a bunch of stuff. And I just felt like there would be a need after really looking at things, thinking about things, possibly just for a product that is just dubia. It's just bugs. I mean, there's nothing else added to it.
Mm,
We don't really try to. I know some products, they'll add like calcium and vitamins and things like that. I've never been interested in that. I just want to give folks a good quality product with just bugs and really leave that up to them as to what they want to mix it with or if they want to mix it with other things. And because they know their pets better than I do. And
mm.
I just never have wanted to get into that as much. So yeah, the original was live dubia, but then we saw what we felt like was a need there. And so we sought to try to fill that need.
Awesome, awesome.
Nice. So essentially, like I know you sent Ant and myself samples of them. Uh,
Yes.
so I think the favorite one that the geckos liked was the blueberry one.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it was the blueberry one. I said all my my breeders and my subadults they ate it like crazy.
Okay.
No, my hatchlings, that's no, it was hit or miss, but they're hatchlings, right? They don't know what the hell's going on in their life at that moment. They just hatched out like
Right.
days ago. So they're still
Right.
trying to figure life out. But so I think one of my biggest things was like not knowing what the ratio was to mix them.
Mm.
Like that
Right.
was my biggest thing right there. Now I just like I try to go onto the website, see if there was any info on there. So that would be something. Uh, as a consumer, I would
Yeah.
say hey, that's a big miss right there.
Okay.
Definitely, I would say, hey, maybe add it to your website or even add it to the back of the packaging, saying
Yeah.
mix it with how to mix it because like most packages they tell you mix it with this much, what's the ratio to water to this. um,
Yeah.
so it took me a couple tries to get it correctly.
Okay.
First I was trying to like put it in the big blender and everything. I was like, all right, this is not working for me, so I had to did them like individually. um, but how many different flavors are you guys actually you offering right now?
Well, so let me first ask you. So, what worked best for you? I would love to know as a customer. What
Well, for me, what worked best, I just grabbed a bottle cap,
Yeah.
my little thing of water, and
Yeah.
start slowly adding water little by little into a bottle cap just to get the right consistency that I was looking for.
Yeah.
Um, I know usually, like I said, with the other ones, it's like, all right, throw in this much powder and then you put this much water in and it blends up, and then next you know you got it looks like ketchup, or it has
Yeah.
the consistency of ketchup.
Yeah.
So that was the hardest part for me was trying to figure out the ratio for that one.
Right.
Um,
Do you feel like that the consistency would be different for different applications, or did you feel like it would just be the same across the board? Because I've always had the idea maybe it's different for everybody. So that's one reason we've never really said, but I'm definitely listening. So,
Yeah, like I know, like between like I've used maybe let's see how many I've used Rapashi, I've used Pangea,
mm,
um, I used that oh what's his name's Leap and Lychees
mm,
version,
yeah.
and there was like another one zoo is it that zoological one,
Okay.
um, and they all are pretty much the same when it comes to mix doing your ratios for water to the powder. Um,
Gotcha.
and like and said, that's the only thing that threw me off. Like I said, but once I got that ratio down,
Yeah.
and fed it to the geckos, like at least my breeders and my subadults, they ate it all up. Like
Good.
I said, babies. like I said, they don't know what the hell's going on. They
Right,
just popped
right.
out the egg. They're like, what's happening right now? Because I have no
Yeah,
fucking clue. But
right.
yeah, but that would be my only thing right there
Okay,
with the powders. Yeah,
fair enough.
yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you for that.
but so what flavors do you offer?
So we have peach, blueberry, watermelon, and original. Yeah, peach, blueberry, watermelon. Yeah, that's it for now.
Okay, and original is
And
it's
it's just
just
fruit.
okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say so original. That's just Dubia Roach
That's just
protein.
bugs. Yeah, that's right.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is your like protein to everything? What's the ratios on those?
So the protein, we had it tested by UGA, and so it's like 71% protein.
Okay. Oh,
So
Really?
it's
nice,
very high.
nice,
It's
nice.
it's very high, very,
Awesome.
and that's the beauty of dubia roaches. You're not gonna find that with soldier flies. You're not gonna find that with mealworms, of course. You're not gonna find that certainly even with crickets. The protein is is good, high quality. So yeah, it's, 71% on there.
I have a
Nice.
question for you, Rick, about, to
Yes, sir.
rewind a little bit. You don't add anything to the diets as far as protein or calciums or vitamins or anything like that, which is cool. It's a single ingredient product, which is awesome.
Yes,
What
sir.
do you do pre-drying and grinding them? As far what do you do for nutrition with your bugs while they're alive? Do you
Oh,
feed
okay.
a calcium, or what type of diet are you feeding them to maybe make your bugs more nutritious than
Oh
they
yeah,
would
yeah,
be?
yeah. Great question. So our bugs are fed primarily fruit, bananas, apples,
Awesome.
things like that. We do they do have some protein feed that we do feed them. It's like a how would you say it? It's a feed. Um, it's actually like a bird. It's actually a bird feed,
Mhm.
but
Okay.
it's a high protein feed that we use just to give them that protein that they need because they need
Yeah.
protein as well. If they don't get it, they become they start cannibalizing on each
Mhm.
other. I mean, so you have to feed them correctly too. But their primary diet is fruit,
Okay.
bananas,
Awesome.
apples,
Awesome.
pears,
Which
sometimes
leads
peanut
to a more nutritious dry bug. It's
butter. Yeah, absolutely.
you don't have to add these extra ingredients and vitamins and minerals when the bug itself is ingesting them. It's I
That's
ordered a
right.
thousand roaches from you, man, and I over the years have ordered hundreds of thousands of roaches, and they were probably some of the healthiest live roaches I've ever gotten. And I don't brown nose. I don't tell anybody anything just to tell them like the live roaches I got from you were nice bugs.
Good.
Like
Thank you.
super super healthy roaches.
Yeah.
Um,
Some
which
people, if you're
matters.
not
Some
careful, they
people.
feed. I'm sorry. They feed them things. I've heard of people feeding things like dog food and stuff like
Mhm,
that. And the
mhm.
problem is they become too protein rich, and they'll actually
Uric
get
acid,
gout.
gout. Oh,
And yeah, and they'll give. We're very serious about what we're selling. That we want a great product for pet owners and growers because, I mean, that's a horrible thing because then your pets are ingesting this too, and so we definitely take it serious. So
Yeah.
awesome.
So maybe can you explain that whole drying process
Just gonna ask that.
before
So
you like I don't know if you're grinding them up or whatever. Can you maybe go explain that process and then you're after that mixing or doing the fruit and everything like that? Can you kind of explain that process?
yeah, so we never use dead bugs. We have live bugs that we put through a process, and that's important too because you don't want dead. You don't want something nasty. So we do start with live bugs that we do put through a process, a freeze drying process, and without giving away the secret sauce, I mean per se.
Yeah.
But we do put it through a freeze dried process. I mean, that's no secret. Everybody's, whether it's soldier flies or whatever, that's what they're doing. But we have had to evolve too. That's the reason why I was asking you so many questions as about what you felt like or thought about the mixing process, because it's important for us to listen to our customers. We're very interested in what you have to say because we want to get better. And so when we initially started the process, it was a little more grainy, a little more not chunky but grainy, and so we were getting feedback that they were having to regrind things. And so
Mm.
we took it, we evolved, and we took it to another step, another level, with another particular kind of grinding process. But suffice to say, we start with live bugs, not dead bugs. And we do put them through the freeze drying process, and then we there's a certain grinding process to get them to that fine powder that you see now. They didn't used to be that way. Again, it was a little more grainier before.
Okay.
But we definitely have listened to our customers, because we want to serve people well.
Yeah, it's definitely is a super fine powder. When I it was easy to mix. That's definitely really easy to mix. Like I
Yeah,
said, it was just a whole knowing what your ratios are. That's all it
yeah,
was. Like I said,
yeah,
it got easier as I was just like, all right, cool. Just put it into a cup, little water bottle cap, mix it
yeah,
all up individually. Boom, 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 boom. Start throwing them out to the geckos. They were good to go.
yeah. And that's what I've seen other customers do. Actually, I've seen them do just that, or put in like you said, like a ketchup squeeze bottle type, and
Yeah,
mix
yeah,
it,
yeah.
and squeeze it into things. So anyway, yeah, that's what I've seen happen.
Yeah.
I added mine to my regular mix. As I make my own foods, which I'm always ranting about, but I take
Yeah,
those proteins. Like I buy, the black soldier fly dried, and then I
sure.
grind them up. So I know exactly what you're talking about, the grinding process. Because if I don't do it a particular way, they come out so chunky that they clog my bottle up when I'm squirting them
Yeah,
out, and it's like a disaster. So the
yes,
couple batches into it, I learned how to pulverize the crap out of them, to make
yeah,
them
yeah, yeah. Absolutely,
super
absolutely.
powdery. But yeah,
That's
I
right.
mix the Dubian with everything. I like the idea of having multiple protein sources in one meal.
Yeah,
I know it doesn't seem practical to us as humans, but nutritionally and as far as amino acids breakdown and vitamins and minerals, I mean, you're a dinner that consisted of fish, chicken, and beef would be a lot better for you than just a plate of fish, right? So
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
always trying to feed my animals, when I do make these mixes, multiple protein sources at once. And that I think this is brilliant for. Again, I can scour the internet for hours and never find dubia powder.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's unique too, because dubia don't they grow very slow,
Mm.
very slow. They're not as prolific as like your mealworms, even your soldier flies, and things of that nature. And so it's a longer process, and I think that people have, I guess, just valued for the long time the dubia, live dubia, as opposed, because like I said, it is a little harder work. They're not as prolific as crickets either. Crickets produce a lot faster
Damn
than
sure
dubia
do.
roaches, but it's definitely a higher quality. It
Mm.
just
Yeah,
The farming is a lot more different though.
Mm.
yeah. Generally, how much dubia would it take to for a single bag?
Okay, so it just depends on what size bag, first of all. Secondly, it would depending on what size dubia are used. And so that's just honestly, it could vary from size to size.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, do you go ahead and do? Are you just grabbing like the babies, or are you taking the adults? Like, do you like no like no in the gecko world we talk holdbacks, right? So do you got like holdback roaches? You be like, nah, I'm not going to use those roaches. We're going to use the babies or whatever.
yeah, no, oftentimes it's adults that I use.
Okay.
Yeah, it's generally not the babies. You could, I mean, you could use any size you wanted to use,
Yeah.
but generally for me, it's the adults that I use.
Okay. And the fruit? What's the ratio for that to the actual dubia?
So it's 70-30,
70
70%
30.
dubia, 30% fruit.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I just is there some magic to that? No, not really. I just was like, I want
I
the
mean,
consumer, I want the buyer to get more of the dubia
pr-
protein than
yeah,
the fruit, but I wanted to put enough in there where, of course, you're getting fruit. You're getting some actual fruit there. That fruit
yeah.
flavor is present, and so yeah, I just wanted. So that's really it.
That's awesome. How are you sourcing your fruit? Where is the fruit? How are you doing that? Approaching that?
Oh, where do I get the fruit? Is that what you mean? Like the
Well,
fruit?
like where are you? I mean, are you not growing it, but are you also drying that yourself and grinding it
Oh yeah,
up?
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I do that all myself. Yes, that's right.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
so I generally just buy it, like I said, just buy the fruit, and then yeah, I put it all through the process myself, and then
That's
combine it,
cool.
put it together. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Very
So what's
cool.
uh let me see. Maybe is there any let's see. Actually, storage wise, right? Generally,
Yes.
how long are you able to actually keep this after you prepare it? How long you actually are you good to keep it for if you put it in the refrigerator?
So I mean, I'll be honest with you, I have yet to have any issues with it, and so I've been doing this now for a couple of years. Once it goes through that freeze dried process and you create that powder, I don't know how long because it's like never gone bad. I mean it's
Yeah.
still
What
I still
what
have no
about after
problem.
mix it with water or anything like that? Because I know like some of the other ones is like 7 days or something like that. I don't know about
Yeah,
because you only have like two ingredients in there pretty much. It's like the fruit and the dubia powder. So they have
yeah.
a
So
bunch of
once you
different
mix it with
ingredients.
water, right? So once you mix it with water, I'll be honest, I would probably a week. I mean, yeah, 7 days a week. I mean, I wouldn't give it. I'd be careful with it after that
Yeah.
probably,
Mm.
um, but I don't really have any tests per se on that. I guess you'd say, but as far as the powder goes, I mean, it's like a roach. It'll just go on forever. I mean, it'll last through anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
a good
no, I've
product.
I've told this story before. No, I had a bin of dubia roaches, totally forgot about them for like 9 months, and them things were still alive. Like
Yes, yeah,
they can live,
it's
like I said,
crazy.
they can live through a nuclear blast. Like it's
Yes,
crazy what they can
yes,
survive through.
yes. It really is. I mean, I've had live bugs. I've heard stories of people having them shipped and people forgetting about them, and then they're in the box, and they finally go and they're all just alive and just doing their thing, living their best life. I don't know, man. It's just crazy
Yeah,
how they do. So it's amazing.
yeah. Go ahead. Ant.
So what's the future look like for Stubbs Bugs? What are you guys projecting for your future? Are you vending shows? How are you promoting your product? Do you want to get into big box stores? What's tell me about what you have envisioned for your company.
Yeah, that is a great question. So um, we are working really hard to grow as fast as we can. Like I said, it takes time with dubia roaches, but we right now, honestly, with our prices, it's really hard for me to keep them on the shelf. I mean, they're going fast. I don't. We don't have a middleman, so a lot of people who are some of your bigger companies, they have other growers, and so they have to set their prices for certain in certain ways because they have other growers and they have other, I guess, overhead. Well, I just grow dubia. I don't have any middlemen. It's just us farming these things. And so we are able to give what I think is a great price. I'm not out to rip people off. I'm just out to give a great product for a great price. People are
Very
having a
fair.
hard enough time as it is sometimes. And so we just, we want to be as fair as we possibly can because honestly, some of these folks, what they're charging for these bugs, I mean, again, it's hard
Yeah,
work. Don't misunderstand me, but
I
I'm
just
just like,
spent $50 on like 300 crickets.
yeah,
Like,
it's crazy
yeah,
to me
it's
what
yeah,
people are
ridiculous.
charging. But anyway, so our vision, honestly, is just to continue to grow as fast as we can, and to become as impactful business as we possibly can. I guess my first goal is to just take over the southeast,
There you
and then
go.
just to keep growing as we possibly can,
Yeah.
to become the biggest grower, to become the biggest grower in the region, and supplier. So yeah, that's our hope. That's our goal.
Okay.
What techniques? How are you going about this though? Are you vending at shows? Are you how are you? Do you have any online social media campaigns? Like what exactly are you
Yeah,
doing to grow?
yeah. So right now, we have been vending. We've been at several shows.
Okay.
Um, and honestly, we've gotten the attention of some of the big buyers, because again, our prices are so low, and I think it just behooves them to want to buy as much as they can from us, so
Mhm,
so they can in turn, not have to compete with us right now.
mhm.
But so we've gotten some attention from some folks, and but yeah, we're vending. There is some. We have an Instagram. My daughter-in-law has done a great job, put some things out as best she can with that. So yeah, we're out there reaching out,
Okay.
sharing with folks, and trying to just grow in that way, as organic as possible. Meeting people, word of mouth, even. I mean, sometimes
Sure.
opportunities like this. Thank you for allowing me to be here and to talk and to get
For
our
sure.
name
We
out.
wouldn't if we didn't think you had a bright future, added to, to what we do. We wouldn't have you on here, We really think you got something brewing, something that's needed, something the hobby needs, It's
Well, thank you. Well, I'm just, again, I am very grateful. I do want to express that to you guys. Thank you for allowing me
Oh
to
yeah,
be
for
here.
sure,
So
man. Like I
it's
said,
things like this. It's things like this, and just getting on the opportunity to just share. And like I said, even with our prices, just being fair with folks, just be
mhm,
fair with people. Um, our customer service, I think, is the best because we just want to help people. So
oh
for
yeah,
sure.
definitely.
Prices will keep
So,
people coming back.
oh yeah, hell yeah. Like especially like like for a small thing of like Rapache or Pangea, it's like $13. And you only get so much out of that. So yeah, if you're beating that, I tell you, you get a lot of people. Uh,
right.
so what have been some of your setbacks so far since you started this?
Yeah. So there's definitely been some setbacks. There's always, any business is going to have setbacks, and
Yeah,
it's a mindset of just persevering through those, learning in those occasions, growing through them, being
yeah.
resilient. And so we've had several. I mean, we've made some major blunders where we've lost, quite frankly, a lot of bugs because we
Oh
didn't
wow.
do something right. This has been a it's been a really growing process of which we've had to grow into. Um, and we've made some tough tough decisions. We've had to make some tough decisions, but we have learned from them, and that's the main thing, is that you do learn from them and you move forward. But yeah, we've definitely had some setbacks. I'm just trying to think of one in particular where, honestly, we just wasn't keeping up with the inventory like we should, and just something as simple as that can be a real big problem, because when you're not keeping up with inventory, not realizing what you really truly have, then you sell too much, and then it's like, I don't have enough to make it back. I don't have enough to make up what I've sold, and you find yourself kind of in a hole, and you've got to slow down and then kind of backtrack, and like I said earlier, dubia grows so slow. It's a slow process for them. It's like 7 months almost for them to reach maturity. And then it's another
Mhm.
month on top of that before you can harvest any babies. So you're looking at 8 months with dubia roaches. So yeah, we've had some setbacks for sure. But
That's
we really tried to persevere through them, learn, move forward. So
It's a valid point that you bring up though about the inventory. How do you keep track of your inventory, and how do you know what you have to sell and what you need to keep production going? Do you have a system? Did you guys come up with some type of way to do
Yeah.
that?
So, well, it's constantly evolving. I'll put it that way. We're always working on that process because you really have to keep track. And one thing that we have to do is we have to actually inventory the number of bugs that we have at least once a month. We have to go through everything and just get a good count on our bugs to know where we're at, to know what our kind of our expectation of what we believe is going to be produced. We also keep a record of how old our colonies are. We keep a record of how old they are. We keep a record of what they've been producing each month, so you can see whether they're declining, whether there needs to be some adjustments made because males tend to die faster than females. So, do I need to introduce more males to my colony? Do I need to make some adjustments on my count there? That's just a constant, consistent thing that has to be done, and you can't let it get away from you. You're going to be in trouble.
What's the
Awesome.
lifespan on the dubia?
Well, they vary, just to be honest with you. Like I said, males will die faster. They fight. I mean, and and kill each other and do things like that. So they, you know, typically a male will last several months. They they say, and I say they. You never know who they is, by the way. They say, but who's they? I have no clue. But anyway, they
Yeah.
say that these females will last. They can last up to 8 months. But again, that's not necessarily true for all of them. You'll find some death. They'll die 3 to 4 months, maybe. A colony itself can last 6, maybe 7 months before
Mhm.
you've got to make some changes. But even they
It-
vary because you may have one colony that does fine and another colony that struggles. Anytime you're dealing with living creatures, as you know, with geckos and other reptiles, I mean, they all differ. I mean, in how they behave and some of their dispositions and things. So it's no different with roaches. They're different.
okay.
But they say 8 months, maybe,
Mm.
on maybe typical.
Just out of curiosity, how many bugs do you think you have? How many roaches do you think you have at any one given time?
Well, how many roaches all together? I mean, oh man, that is a good question. Well, as far as total, I mean, I don't know, probably over 1 million.
God damn.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
man.
on roaches, I'd be moving out.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I don't even know how your wife
yeah. I
puts
mean,
up with that one.
yeah, but I mean, that's growing. That's changing. That's changing every month. So
Cool.
it's
Yeah.
becoming more and
Cool.
more. So
I've seen some behind the scenes
this,
videos of like Dubia.com's breeding operation, and it was mind
right.
boggling to me. I've seen Flukers or Timberline. Some YouTuber did a Flukers or Timberline facility tour, and they showed all the crickets. Mind blowing. Like I said, the Dubia one,
Yeah,
mind blowing. I'm always
yeah,
curious to what it would look like in person and how much it actually takes to supply a hobby. To be quite frank, I mean, if you think about how
yeah,
slow these things produce, I have a Dubia colony myself, and I see how long it takes and versus how fast my animals eat them. It's a battle. It's definitely a
yeah,
battle. You got to have a lot
yeah.
of bugs to keep a hobby going.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is yeah. I mean, when I say I give that number, but I mean, and we're small. We're just small. We're a small family right now. But like I said, it's
Everyone
growing,
starts
and
small.
yes, sir. I mean, you got to start somewhere, and
Mhm.
it's growing,
Exactly.
and I'm excited about our future, and yeah, we're very serious about moving forward and really making an impact in this industry. So
Do you guys plan on sticking to this less is more type of thing? Are you gonna run this one to the moon, the limited ingredients, or do you ever think about making complete diets or anything else? Do you feel like do you think you may expand on your product lines, or is, again, like I hate to sound like a broken record, but sticking to the basics,
yeah,
what you guys are all about?
no, I have no intentions of doing that. Honestly, I really don't. I just simple is just best for us. And again, I'm just wanting to produce a great product for people. They have the liberty to mix it, use it how they want to do it, and to me, I guess too, I don't want the liability of all that complicated stuff either. I just want people to have a good product where they can just say, hey, and they do. Some people even mix it with the rapashi or the Pangea. That's fine. What I mean, you do whatever you feel like you need to do. What's best for your pet, and that's how we have felt about it, and that's kind of the approach we've taken. And we just feel like it's just best. Simple is best. I like simple. I'm a simple guy. I like simple. I've always been simple, so our product is simple. It's just that's just the way we like it.
Hey Rick,
Yeah.
not to be rude, but is your volume all the way up? I'm having a hard time
Oh,
hearing you.
oh, okay. No, well, I don't know if it is. Yeah, that's.
I said
I
it
don't
looks like
know.
you're frozen as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm. I don't know how to increase the.
It's all right. We can figure it out later in the
I
editing.
can I can always fix it in the back end once it's once we're done. Um
Okay, so I'm sorry.
no, no,
I'm
you're all good. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
I'm a low tech
I
guy
just
in the high tech world, sir. I'm sorry. I'm having. I just try to figure these things out. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. Just to be honest.
Nah, you're good. Don't worry. We'll fix it
Yeah,
later.
I
Um
apologize.
no, you're good, man. So I was gonna actually add on to Ant's question right there is what about the feeder side? Like, are you gonna just stick with dubias or are you gonna branch out to different feeders, not for powders or anything, but just as a something to supply consumers with?
Oh yeah. So no, no. Honestly, that's how I keep my prices low because I have very little. I don't have any overhead as far as having to buy other feeders, other things, and then have them on the shelf and trying to sell them and
Okay.
money tied up in that. I just no, I really don't have any intentions of that. I know some that have, they're the one-stop shop, which that's cool, that's good. I'm just but for us, we're just Dubia. That's it.
Yeah. That's smart though. I mean, you keep it simple. You keep it. That's what your name's gonna be right there. It's like you want dubious. You hit up Stubbs Bugs.
Yes, sir.
So there you go. Uh, as far as let's see here. Let me ask- so let me when you started first making this diet, I'm guessing you guys were testing it in the house. Do you guys have crescent geckos, new Caledonian geckos, day geckos, or anything like that?
No,
Or did
sir.
you
Just to
just
be honest with you, I don't. I don't have
yeah?
any. So what we did was we actually had some friends, some people
Okay.
who did have some reptiles, and we were like,
Okay.
"Hey, we just love for you to try this, see what you think, see what kind of application you can get out of it or use out of it. Just let
Hmm.
us know." And so they did, and it was successful. It was good. I mean,
Okay.
they have really enjoyed it, still use it today, and so yeah, that's I'm on the road a lot, and I just have
Okay.
never been able to honestly be able to take time with that. I've grown up with animals all my life. I was the
Yeah.
kid growing up picking up the snakes out of the road and the turtles, and I've just loved animals all my life. Reptiles. My parents were animal lovers, so we just always have enjoyed that. And but my wife and I, we're at the age now. We got a grandbaby and one on the way, so we're on the road all the time. So it's
God
like
bless.
it's not fair to. I've always been one. If you're gonna have a pet, you need to take care of it
Yeah.
be able to spend time with it. And we just don't have that right now. So, but we, like I
That's I
said,
mean
we
that's
did.
very responsible of you too, though, because some people are
Yeah,
like, nope, I'm still gonna get it, don't care, So
right,
that's very responsible.
right. But we had friends that had reptiles, and so they were our test subjects. And
Yeah, okay,
but when we found that they really enjoyed it, so we were like, okay, we're gonna give it a go.
okay, nice. What I was about to ask? Damn. I just had a question too. Oh my god, I'm getting too old for this. Um, Ant, you got something?
Yeah. What as far as sizes, what sizes do you offer, and do you plan on? And I know we talked about how hard it is to get, to produce these things, but have you thought about offering anything like in a 1 pound size, a 4 pound jug? What do you have any plans as far as evolving your portion sizes, I guess, or offerings?
Yeah, so good question. We actually have been thinking about that. Um, it's Yeah, we have. We've been thinking about it. We haven't yet, and largely just because it's it's like I said
Yeah,
earlier, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of
yeah.
time. It takes a lot of time.
I figured that's
And
what was going on. Because boy,
yeah,
I tell you what, Rick, if you made sold 1 pound bags of just ground dubia, I'd buy you out myself.
okay, all right. I'm
I
You heard
listening.
it
keep
here,
upwards of
folks.
200 animals, so
Yeah,
and I know it was more than generous of you to send us the samples that you did, and they were just to try them out. And for anyone out there listening and watching, they do have other size options available.
yeah.
But it was a tease to my collection.
I got
Like
you.
I buy everything in between 1 and 4 pounds, 5 pounds. I buy black soldier fly by 5 pounds.
I got you.
So it's I asked my myself this question before when I was talking to, I don't know if it was you, or I was talking to someone via social media when I had received the products. And um, I asked myself, like, what would I do if I was Stubbz Bugz, and I would do one thing? What would I want as a consumer if I was Stubbz? What would I want from Stubbz Bugz as a consumer? And literally, the only thing that I could say as far as the ground dubia powder went was bigger sizes.
Okay,
Larger amounts would be the only thing that I would change about that ground dubia powder.
okay. Yes, I will. I
But
appreciate that very much.
again, totally understand with production. It's, you can't go making pounds of powder when you don't got pounds of bugs. I
Sure.
understand, and it's something that you should grow with. Don't just do what anybody says to do it. What you have to do and how you have to do it. You have to have a certain amount of bugs in stock, obviously, to start
Right.
producing pounds of powder. But I believe it would be a huge hit.
Okay. Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you. Like I said, I enjoy hearing back from our customers and people of interest because it means a lot to us. So thank you for sharing that, and we'll definitely look into that. I just definitely something we'll have to grow into. That'll be a
Yeah,
process that we grow into, but
sure.
I will definitely take that under advisement. Thank you for sharing that for
Yeah.
sure.
So you said you're on the road a lot. Is that for like vending shows to showcase your product?
Some, but no, just I'm on the road a lot. Actually, I'm a pastor of a church, and so
Oh, okay.
I'm on the road, a lot of work, just in and out of the community, and my wife is working with me, and so we travel back and forth, and yeah, so that's a lot of what I'm doing on the road. Um,
Okay.
but some vending, yes, that is true. Some, and but my son is helping me so much. He works on the farm and does a lot with us, and so it's yeah, but it's a mix
Yeah.
on the road. Yeah.
What shows are you guys vending? So that
So
they
we did the Southeast Reptile not too long ago. We
okay.
did Grovetown. It was the Show Me. Is that Show Me Reptile?
Okay.
I'm sorry, you have to forgive me. I think that's what it was. But and then there's a couple more coming up. But honestly, I was really looking at doing more of those. and I'm just as serious as I can be. I mean, with our prices, I don't know that I'm going to do too many more because honestly, I'm selling everything I got. I mean, it's gone. I mean, it's every month I'm selling out all the bugs. I'm selling, and I just don't have enough. I'm trying to grow the inventory as fast as I can, but I'm getting enough, people that are just buying us out. So I don't know. I don't know how many more we'll do, just to be honest. But
Have you gotten into any retail stores yet, or like have you gotten into like partnered up with any? I don't know. I guess they're like vendors. Like when you go to a reptile show, you'll see like gecko breeders or snake breeders, whoever, but they're always selling like foods that aren't theirs. Like people always sell Pangea and Rapashi and whatnot. Have you linked up with any vendors to sell your product?
no, I haven't. Not any vendors like that. I mean, some of the larger bug companies,
Mm.
yes, I have. I am currently. They have been buying a lot from us.
But just your live bugs, though.
Yeah, just live
Yeah,
bugs,
not your
not the
actual
powder.
product.
Yeah,
Do
not the
you
powder.
offer a what are those things called, Jay? Like where you work with a company, like a damn. Like do you
Is it
offer I don't know if it's like discounts or what you would do,
like an affiliate?
an affiliate program. Do you offer affiliate programs to people at all? Like say a vendor wants to come and say, "Man, I love Stubbz Bugz so much. I'm not selling Rapashi on my table. I'm selling Stubbz Bugz ground 100% ground doobie on my table." Do you
Yeah,
have or have you thought about doing affiliate programs like that? I think you would do well at that.
I do appreciate that. Yes, we have thought about that,
Okay.
but I want us to. Honestly, I feel like we need to grow some more before I can
Okay.
actually
Okay.
do that effectively.
Okay.
Because when I get into something like that, I want to do it right. I want to be
Yeah.
able to do it effectively and not do it and then have to backtrack and do it. I
No.
don't want to get into that kind of routine. So I have, and I appreciate you bringing that up. We have thought about that, and it will probably be something in our future. I hope.
Think it would do you well. I think it would do the hobby well, just to see, again, I'm sure you're in the business. Jason's in the hobby. I obviously am, and we've all have read the ingredients lists on a huge chunk of these products, and these foods that these companies make, and you have to almost be a English teacher or a scientist to pronounce half of the ingredients on a lot of them. I
Yeah, that's
think
right.
just having something as wholesome as yours and as simple as yours on a table
Right.
would be such a huge hit that and I don't even want to say competition because you're kind of in your own lane. You're not really competition. You're not promoting
Right.
yourself as a meal replacement or a complete diet. You're not competing with Rapashi in
Right.
theory. You're not really competing with Pangea. You're your own
Your own
almost
entity.
organic,
Right.
pure, natural reptile food company, Matt. Like you're literally in your own lane. I know for a fact that if this product was up at Flora Fauna Conference this last weekend, whatever product you sold there would not be coming home.
Right. Well, we have found that to be true. The last few places we vended, we pretty much sold everything. So, and these weren't
Nice.
big. Well, the Southeast Reptile Show was, pretty big. The show me in Grovetown, not that big. I mean, it was
I've heard
nice.
about it, so and I'm all the way
Yeah,
out here in Little Connecticut, so it's
yeah,
something.
nice people. But yeah, oh yeah, it's growing even more. People are finding out about us. They're catching on. For the most part, people are listening. So yeah, I haven't been. In fact, I think that particular show that you've just mentioned, we'd actually entertained in going, and we may eventually, maybe next year or something. We just weren't able to get up there this year. So,
Yeah,
but
it'd be good for both parties, you and
Oh yeah.
the whole thing. That whole Flora Fauna Conference thing. What you're doing and how you're doing it. I mean, it's almost like a match made in heaven. You guys would really be a lot of these crested gecko breeders. A lot of the bigger names are like I don't know how you really explain it, but they're really in tuned with the diets and everything that they give their animals. A lot of these bigger breeders don't. I mean, I don't want to say don't, but they're more into making up their own. complete
Yeah,
diets with hand selected ingredients than they are just feeding something off a shelf. And again, not that you're marketing your product that way, but I feel like your product makes a great additive, right? Like if I
yeah,
add, like I make my own, like I say, I buy my own dehydrated vegetable fruits and my own bug powders and make my own bug powders and whatnot. And I and
yeah,
I personally added yours to it, but I just feel that a lot of people think the way I do, and
sure.
nutritionally at least, and would add it. It makes a great additive. It makes a great food on its own. It's just there's so many things you can do with it. And again, like I said, the whole flora fauna crowd, these people are really in tune with what they give their animals and feeding mass amounts of animals that it's something that needs to be linked together. You two gotta somehow get, relationship or at least get into that crowd.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely look into that for sure because I appreciate that. We that might be a great opportunity, especially for us next year. So
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, we're coming up close to the end. And you want to hit them with your closer?
Yeah. All right. So I ask everybody the same question, and give this whole spiel every podcast. If a kid came up to you, say you're hypothetically speaking at anywhere really, walking down the street or at vending a show or just at a show, and someone said, Rick, a child, 10-year-old boy or girl came up to you and said, Rick, man, I want to grow up and I want to do what you do. I want to farm bugs for a living. Not that you do farm bugs just as your living, but you get what I'm saying. I want to grow up to be just like you and run a business just like yours. What advice would you give that 10-year-old child that wanted to grow up and live your life?
okay, that is a good question. Well, oh boy, where do I start? I think I think that I would tell a child that they certainly need to be patient, be willing to learn from their mistakes, and to be persevering through difficulty because it's going to happen. Problems are going to happen. I mean, things are going to take place and difficulties are going to come and go. And I would just try to encourage them and really encourage them. I like encouraging people. I like to try to encourage people to chase after whatever it is in their life. And I would really just encourage them to to go for it, to be patient, be persevering, stay with it, whatever it happens. Be willing to learn from your mistakes. That's a huge thing. I can't say that enough. Just be willing to learn from your mistakes. Be willing to listen to other people. Those are the two things to me: learn from your mistakes, listen to other people, and be patient. That would be the third thing. Because
Awesome.
I think too often we don't listen enough. We talk a lot, but we don't listen enough. And
That's a fact.
we can get a lot from listening to people, and especially learning from other people. Because I tell people this all the time. The one thing we learn from history is that we don't learn from history, and unfortunately, people need to do that. We need to learn from other people. So
It's
yeah,
that old saying. They say God gave us two ears and one mouth for a reason. You're
yeah,
supposed to
yeah.
listen more than you talk.
Right. I would say that. Be willing to
I like
listen and
that.
be willing to persevere and be patient. Because yeah,
Uh,
things are going to happen. So
nice. Yeah. So, with mine, uh, I know you haven't really been in the hobby crazy long. Like you're just kind of started in this stuff. But what has been some of your biggest failures so far, and what did you learn from those?
yeah, so some of the biggest failures. Well, like I shared with you earlier, not keeping up with my inventory well. We made a huge mistake, and so we've really had to regroup, um, realize that we had a solution. There's a solution. There's an answer. There's a solution. And so we had to really regroup, solve the problem, and again, persevere. not throw in the towel, not just quit and give up. Um, it would have been easy to do that, but we didn't, and we haven't. And so, yeah, we're trying to we're constantly learning, growing, and like I said, listening, like you guys. I mean, I'm listening to what you're saying today. I'm listening to what you think about the product. I'm listening to how people feel about stuff. Don't get in your feelings. I would tell that kid, don't get in your feelings. I mean, people
There
get
you
in their
go.
feelings too much. Somebody criticizes or offers a critique. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they said that to me or about me or whatever. I mean, get over yourself. You got to move on. Let's move on and learn from learn from these things and grow from that. So yeah, that was one of our huge failures, and we just had to own up to it, fix it, and just keep moving forward, realizing that we do have a great product, we do have a potential and opportunity to do something good for folks. So
Nice. Like that.
Awesome.
All right. So, where can everybody find you, Mr. Stubbs?
it's stubbsbugs.com. It's all with a Z, STUBBZBUGZ.com, Stubbs Bugs.
All right. What about the
And your social
socials?
media, how can people order from you? This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
your
So
time right here
yeah,
to give us your spiel, read us your riot act, tell everybody how to get a hold of you,
okay.
get your product, where to contact you. This is stage
Yeah,
is yours right now. Rant
yeah.
about your business.
Well, I appreciate that. Yes, stubbsbugs.com is our website. Information's there. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook as well. Like I said, I feel like we have a great product that people will enjoy. And, just if you haven't ever heard of us, give us a try. I think you'll appreciate our service, customer service, and our willingness to help you any way we can. So check it out. As far as live feeders, we're going to put some on hopefully in the next week. We'll have some more to come back on, and I just tell folks all the time, just get it while you can, because they go
Yeah.
fast. I mean,
For sure.
we have the best prices I think around, hands down. So
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Great
I was just
prices.
looking at it right now. So what's
I
before
got
we
a
leave, what
thousand for less
sizes
than
do
$40, man. I grabbed a
yeah.
thousand for like 30 something bucks.
What
actually,
sizes do you
they're
offer?
22 bucks for 1,000 smalls plus
See, there
shipping.
you go. That's a steal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
So
I just
what
spent
size?
50 bucks on 300 crickets.
Right.
That's
I'm sorry. What
crazy.
were you asking? What size
I was
bugs? Is that
yeah, what sizes do you offer?
So right now it's smalls and halves, more smalls
Okay.
than I do halves, and the reason for that is again I just sell I sell them, they sell out and they're gone. I've been trying to move into some mediums, and I've had some, but not a lot, because like I said, I just keep selling out all my smalls and halves.
Okay.
When I say smalls, I mean like quarter inch, 3/8,
Yeah,
half
they're
Okay.
not your
inch.
typical little like first
Like
nymph
nymphs?
things. Nymph, yeah,
Okay.
they're a little bigger.
Yeah,
Yeah, I bought
I
them for
need
new
those
blood for
nymphs.
my colony. I didn't even feed them
Yeah.
off. I just bought them to dump into my colony to grow as new blood.
yeah.
Yeah, I need those nymph sizes for some of my small geckos. I got geckos like this big.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they can handle them. There's some in there.
yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, everybody, definitely, Mr. Stubbs, it was definitely a pleasure to talk with you about your products
Absolutely.
and everything that you're doing. You're doing it the right way. Uh, like when I look at you, like I said, when I see everything on there, I like it. I love it. Like I said, once I found out my ratio, gave it to the geckos, they tore it up. So I said, you're doing something right, and I'm glad to see people like you are doing some some good stuff in this hobby.
Thank you.
You go, guys.
Thank
Go
you.
check them out, man. I've personally used the products. I used every flavor I've purchased and used as live bugs. Healthiest bugs, very healthy bugs, man. Some of the healthiest bugs I've gotten in the last 5 years, hands down, without a doubt. They come hydrated. They come with fresh carrots in the cup, man. Not a single dead bug. I've tried all the powders. Yes, I've added mine and didn't mix them straight like Jason had, but still, it's an amazing, pure, single ingredient item that you guys will absolutely find a use for. I, I, I can't preach enough about how important this product is. Go check out his website. Go check out his Instagram page. Go learn about the product yourself. If you're not hooked, then I don't know what the hell to tell you. Keep feeding your animals that scientific crap they put on the shelves, man. But trust me, go check out Stubbz Bugz.
All right, everybody, Have a great night, morning, afternoon, whenever you listen to this, and we'll catch you the next time. Which, guess what? We won't be on next week because it's Mother's Day weekend. So go chill with your mothers, tell her you love them, and just be like that. All right.
Absolutely.
Have a great night, everybody.
Later.